Well, it's recording now, and I'm not ready.
Are we ready?
Ready as I'm gonna be.
Yeah, we're ready.
Let me click this and click this and click, click, click. Okay.
All the clicks,
Everything's been clicked.
including your chair.
Everything always clicks. My knees, my back, my chair.
What are we talking about today?
I guess we can talk about these 4 penguins of the apocalypse that we did. Well, you came up with, and I drew them.
I came up with the idea in the shower, of course.
That's where all the best ideas come from.
I started playing around with maybe like because you were drawing penguins the other night, and you drew one with a Skyrim theme, and I'm like, oh, you could have him go on little adventures and fight dragons and skeletons and stuff. And then I was like, oh no, wait, the 4 penguins of the apocalypse. And I was like, that's genius. I mean, I don't think it is, but I like the idea.
I mean, I think it's great because after you told me, I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. Of course, then you got a little gruesome with some of the details, and I'm like, okay, too far.
Yeah.
But yeah, great idea. Good T-shirt ideas. Honestly, once I finish these, I'm gonna have to buy a couple shirts.
Okay, so the video that we're watching today is
Pestilence.
Yay.
I had to Google that because I mean I know of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, but I only really know Death because everybody knows Death is like the Grim Reaper looking kind of thing.
Right.
But I'm like, okay, Pestilence. What kind of symbols are there for Pestilence? I'm like, well, I kept seeing like a gas mask on a couple of them, and it was like, I kept getting confused with, there's a famine one too.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess Pestilence is more disease, and famine's more starvation. Don't quote me. I'm not a biblical guy. I don't know a lot of the references and all that stuff. But
I mean, it's a little fitting right now, given the
yeah,
pandemic.
yeah. These, yeah. I guess it is fitting that I started with this one, isn't it? Yeah. This only took me an hour to do this drawing. But in typical fashion, I did cheat. So I already knew what the layout was going to look like because I did a bunch of sketches just to see what was going to work and what was going to not work. And I already knew that I wanted to have this with a gas mask. I already did my research on a bunch of gas masks. Like, my Google search history is very weird.
Yeah.
There's like gas mask, penguin skeleton, 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I'm sure I'm on some kind of list.
Yeah, you're on the government watch list.
Yeah.
I also like the idea when I said that instead of them riding around on horses, they're sliding around on like ice chunks. And then you took that, you turned it into ice cubes, which I really like.
Yeah. And I didn't even want them like I thought about like, oh, they could just be like floating around in the water. Like, it'd be funnier if they're just like sliding around on the ground on ice.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why the shower is the place to get ideas, but that's where it seems to be.
I do plan on changing some of the coloring on this. Like, I was happy with it at first, and then I'm gonna go back and fix some stuff. Like, I want each one to have like a color theme, and I think the Pestilence one is going to be a lot of yellows, and I have some of that in here, but I think I wanted to add that into the ice cube as well.
Okay.
I wanted it to be sort of yellowed, but then I'm worried that it's just going to look like he's standing in a pool of urine, and I didn't know if that was really the look I was going for. I don't know. To be determined. There's these circles on the front of his mask that I really wasn't sure what to do. I just had drawn circles on there, and then I'm like, well, I'll just use the circle tool so it looks more uniform and more like a an actual produced thing, like mass produced thing made by machines. And I'm like, I tried it and I looked at it like, nope, scrapping this idea. And I just ended up drawing these little dimples in the mask. I'm like, that's good enough. I can fake the rest with shadows and light.
Yeah.
I guess that's a lot of times what I do. If I'm not sure what I'm going to do, I just fake it.
Fake it till you make it.
Well, then I'll be faking it for a very long time.
I was just really happy that you really liked my idea, and I was like, "Yay!" I don't know why that made me really happy.
Oh, right there you saw my my file tree system, real quick.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah, I missed that.
I was actually thinking of making the entire penguin yellow instead of black and white. It was going to be yellow and white.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure why I didn't. I think because I like the contrast of the greenish yellow mask on the black instead of if it was a green mask on yellow. I don't think it would have stood out as well.
Well, it could be a black mask on a greenish yellowish penguin.
It could have. I mean, it still can.
I do like the fish's face. He's just like this again.
Yeah. I was going to draw it so it was just a plain white eye and he'd look more dead. But I thought it was funnier if the fish was just kind of looking up at him going, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Just had this look on his face really? It took me a while to figure out how to do penguin feet. Because I didn't know what they looked like. I thought, I started originally just drawing just circles. They were going to look almost like slippers.
Okay. And
then I thought, well, don't they have webbed toes? They got to have some webbing in order to swim. So I was thinking to draw them just like duck feet. And then that didn't happen. And then I started looking them up. I'm like, oh, they have claws. So I drew some kind of weird claws, and then it looked like some kind of skeleton feet. I'm like, no, that's no good either. So it took a few tries, but I did get it.
That's our cat, Biscuit. Hi, Biscuit.
Hi. Oh, we have company.
Yeah.
So loud.
You're ruining it.
Come here. Oh, jeez.
Yep, she's our talker.
Yep. One in every family.
Mm-hmm. You happy now? You situated?
So I didn't want to cover the same topics that we talked about last time. I don't really want to talk about the shading because I did that, and it's no real secret. I don't work any magic. I did.
I like how the coloring turned out.
The hard thing with this was I guess the stink cloud, and I wanted it to be able to have a fillable color, so it has to have solid lines. At least in my mind, I liked it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a cloud of something, I like to think that it obscures the stuff behind it, so it's kind of like a fog.
Yeah.
So some of the lines I kind of made just harder to see what it is, where it almost dashed lines. But I still wanted his arm to be solid, so you could see that he's actually holding the fish.
Right.
So it was I had to decide which lines I wanted to do that to.
What was that there where you made everything just a big black shadow?
Oh, I highlighted the outline of the entire picture, and then I inversed the selection. So then it's selecting the whole image, because I like to, since I have all my lines connected, I use this magic wand tool, and ended up making sure that the outline was selected, and then I expand it by I think it was 12 pixels, and I create a new layer on the bottom, and I fill that selection in just black, and then I just make everything appear on top of it again. So it almost, what it does is it creates a dark outline over the whole thing, around the whole thing, that's about 12 pixels wide.
Okay.
it almost makes it like have a sticker effect. I do that with emotes as well, like some emotes, not all of them. Some of them that have a lot of darker colors, because most people watch Twitch with dark mode on. So if you have an emote that has either black text or like a dark, like say you have a character face or something and they have like dark hair or dark skin or something on the outer edge of the image, it's not going to show up well unless you kind of surround the whole thing with a white border.
Right.
So, I mean, that's handy for t-shirts as well, because if you do stuff that's just black, if you have black outlines, and if you print that on a black t-shirt, stuff doesn't come out well. Like, you won't be able to see the outlines that you drew.
It just blends all together.
Yeah. And I found that out through experience, that I need to have white outline around stuff if I'm going to print it on a dark t-shirt, because everything I draw has black lines. So it kind of makes it look like stickers, because stickers always have like a white border around everything.
Now, when you're done with all 4 of these penguins, what website are you going to use for your shirts? Because we've been having issues with Threadless, which you used for a number of years.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I like Threadless because their selection is really good, and their customer service is really good, but their quality of print just kind of became disappointing for me.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like, I mean, it may sound like kind of shitty, but the average consumer won't notice the quality of the print. Because, I mean, it looks fine. But if you're the one that drew it, you know what it's supposed to look like. And if the colors come back wrong, you know.
Well, the thing is, you ordered a couple of shirts for me with certain pictures on it, and they were pictures from like when I streamed, and then your little dragon Bernard, and they came out really dark, and when you look at it on the website, it's a lighter color.
Yeah. I mean, that's like even weird that it's different than their website. I could see if it was sometimes different than my original artwork. I even noticed that between monitors. Like, I draw on this tablet that's connected to my PC, but if I move the image over to my larger monitor that's in front of me, the colors are a little different. And I've tried balancing the colors on here, but there's really no other settings to change that. So I just kind of have to flip-flop back and forth whenever I'm double-checking my images to make sure that the colors look good. But you'd think that if you're looking at the image on the website, that the thing that you get in your hands should be the same thing, same color.
Because some people just go by color, like, oh, I like that color, and that's why they order it in that color, and then whenever they get it, it's not quite right, and it doesn't match well with like the color of the t-shirt or whatever.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I was disappointed that last batch of stuff we got.
When I contacted them, and I was like, hey, I'm not happy with the color of the print you guys sent me. And they were like, oh, we're sorry, we did change printers. We'll print out another one and send it to you. And then that one was not as dark, but still too dark.
Yeah, it still didn't look right.
So, but I wasn't going to contact them another time. It just, at that point, I'm like, well, I guess I know what I'm doing in the future.
Yeah. Well, it also sucked because the one style that they have, it's called Dolman. I really like that style of t-shirt. Like, not just the style, but the fit for me. I like the fit of it, and I ordered both those shirts in that style because I just, like I said, really like the fit of it. And it felt like a completely different shirt when I put it on to try it on. And I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Why is this so weird?
I mean, there's other sites I could try. But, like, at this point, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to upload this. I might upload it to all the. I have like 3 different shops.
Well, the
I
last
just do all of them.
the one shop that you used for your Battletoads.
Yeah.
I never beat Battletoads shirt.
Right.
What website was that?
I don't remember. I have it bookmarked, but I just can't remember the name of it.
I mean, we could try that. Because I definitely want these penguins on a shirt.
The thing that stinks is like I wanted things other than shirts, and I think threadless prints the most variety of objects.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a big selling point for me. I just wish that like other sites did things like stickers and buttons and stuff like that.
Because Threadless also does notebook covers and mugs.
Yeah.
And
cell phone covers and all kinds of cool stuff.
Hats, sleep pants.
Mm-hmm. They do sleep pants, but I'm a little disappointed that you can't do patterned sleep pants.
Yeah.
I was doing some digging, and the only thing I can do like patterns on are shirts. They have weird shirts that are like cut and sew. They call it cut and sewn shirts, where they like you can put almost in like an image almost the size of like the entire shirt, and I guess they just print it on separate fabric, and then they sew it together into a shirt.
Oh, okay.
So instead of already having shirts that are manufactured and they just screen print or whatever onto the shirt itself, they actually print it onto fabric and then sew it together. It's more expensive.
Right.
It's like $45 a shirt.
Oh, wow.
But, which is, I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
For a t-shirt.
I mean, the t-shirts, I don't know if it's really a lot of money. Like, the t-shirts are $20 anyway. So,
yeah.
Like, I guess that's normal now?
I don't know. I still wear clothes that I owned when I was in high school, so.
Right.
It was almost 25 years ago.
I like penguins. Because when you started talking about, I'm thinking of drawing some penguin stuff, I was like, cool, I like penguins. And then the next morning, I was in the shower and I was like, oh my god, I have an idea.
I have a plan for all those penguins I was drawing. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
So I did this thing with the yellow around his stomach here too.
Okay.
That was really the only place that I added yellow into his skin. I also did this weird splattering over his skull because that's like his exposed skull.
Right.
It's kind of gross. But that's what that is.
Pestilence.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Pestilence is gross. And here I just erased like some stuff. So.
Okay.
Some of the lines were too thick, so I just undid some of it.
I like the little smiley face you put after your signature. Is there anything specific you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I don't know.
I still have questions that I wrote down from our previous video.
Okay. Well, lay it on me. We'll see what comes up.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to dive back into those types of questions because they were kind of along the lines from the last one.
We can do it.
I will try not to make too much noise.
If you do, make it all at once.
Okay, well, how about this one? It's kind of easy. What is your thought process when you sit down to draw?
That's an easy one? Here's an easy one.
Yeah, sure. Let's make it easy.
I have an easy question for you. Drawing. How do?
Yep.
Well, I mean, it really depends on what I'm drawing. Like it's really hard lately, and it's been easier, but up until the past couple weeks, I haven't even had ideas of what I wanted to draw. Like, I need to have it in my head first. I always have like an end design in my mind, but it's fluid, and it doesn't always have to go that way. But I always start off with just literally like a stick figure, because my first thing I need to nail is the pose. Because if I don't have that, then nothing else really matters.
Okay, because this is going to flow into some of the other questions that I had written down, which was, what do you start with? Was it the face or a background? Or, so if you start with a pose, then it's just...
I start with a pose. I mean, and it also depends on the picture. There's one that I'm working on now where I've drawn almost the whole thing and have yet to draw the face. And there's sometimes where the face is the first thing I draw.
Okay.
If it's my character, like the one we did with the turkey video, face is usually first. Because it's the most fun. Yeah. I really like drawing the face of that character, so... but I guess if pose is probably the best place to start. It's almost like I have to do it in order to explain what I'm doing. You know, like with these penguins, because I was drawing a whole bunch of them before I even started this picture. Like I needed to have the characters designed and like what they were going to look like first. Like if you look at my actual like character sheet for these penguins, the one that you saw the Skyrim one on,
right?
There's several on there that look way different because that's just where I started. Like the first one I drew was like real skinny and looked weird, and then I quickly scrapped that.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw that was like, no, penguins should be chubby.
Yeah, because like this real skinny one, it was like I needed to make mistakes before I could get it right.
Right.
But I don't like to. I used to delete all of my mistakes and just erase it and like basically just delete the file, burn it, it's gone. Mistakes,
act like it never happened.
Mistakes don't exist.
Yeah.
But
you learn from mistakes though.
That's what I've been doing more lately. If I make a mistake, I leave it. And I'll just like I don't mistake isn't the right word, but it's my practice. It's like how I get to where I want to be. Like I have this end goal in mind, and my first drawing is almost never where I want to end up. But it's funny because I want it to be. Because I don't know, I guess I mean, you know this, and I'm starting to tell everybody, I'm a perfectionist. And it's a bad thing. Like it's not a good quality. It kind of is, I guess, but it definitely hinders me more than it helps me. Because I can find myself obsessing over single pixels on stuff. And I will zoom in on these pictures so close, and I'm trying to adjust each pixel so that the lines connect right.
Yeah, there have been times where I'd come in and just peek at what you were doing, and you're like, oh, here, yeah, let me show you. And then you pull it up on your bigger monitor so I can see it. And then you're like, oh, well, wait, shit. And then like you pull it back to your tablet, and then you're like, okay, I just have to fix this. And I'm like, what did you even fix? He was like, oh, there's this pixel here. I'm like, what?
Yeah, there's this one dot. This one dot was out of place. I need to move it. Yeah, I don't know. That's what was the question again?
What's your thought process when you sit down to draw? But I mean, there's some branching questions in there as well. Like, do you start with a face or a body or a background? And you said in certain instances, you might start with a face, like with your character, or like the position was, with these penguins. Have you ever started with a background?
Yes.
Okay.
I did that for, it was that birthday party picture for Grum, where there was a big mountain background, and I was trying something new, where I wasn't painting the background, but I was doing backgrounds differently. It was supposed to be like a big mountain background with trees and stuff, where I did like cartoon drawings of these purple mountains, and I wanted it to be real like bold colors, almost like Looney Tunes style stuff.
Yeah.
But then I wanted trees, like pine trees and stuff, that kind of looked semi-realistic. I don't know why I was kind of blocked into doing it that way, but I've never done it before, so I'm just like, oh, let me do something, you know, on this job that people think that I can do real quick. Let me scrap the way I normally do stuff and try something totally different. Because why not? Let's make things harder for myself.
Yeah, I think we touched a little bit on that last episode. What is this? I don't know what this is.
We'll call it episode. It's fine.
Oh.
We may do more of these.
How you like to? I said it's maybe more like a challenge. And
yeah, but it's not on
no,
purpose.
I just like to make it more difficult for myself. Yeah. It's not a challenge.
I don't do it on purpose, but it just ends up that way. Like I did the background with like a paintbrush and painted trees, and even that last thing I did for Captain Chaos. Mm-hmm. There's this gas station picture, and I started off with like this mountain range and this like real pretty sunset and clouds and all kinds of stuff. Like it looked beautiful, but it wasn't like the style of it was 100% different than what the rest of the image was.
What the focus of the picture was.
Yeah, like, and I guess that was kind of my point. Like I didn't want the background to be too much of what you focus on, because but I spent so much time on getting the colors, and I blended like, I don't know, 7 or 8 different colors together for the sunrise in the sky. And I'm like, why am I even doing this? It looks good, but why? Why did I do that? And then like I drew this whole gas station too. Like I just started recently. I learned how to use a perspective ruler in this program to draw like rooms and buildings and stuff. Like I used to just make it up and just draw just squares and stuff, but I started using an actual ruler, and God, I had to watch so many tutorials on how a perspective ruler works. But it's so you can draw like walls and stuff that like look like they go off into what's called a vanishing point near the horizon.
Okay.
And all the lines will be parallel, all going to that same point. Do you remember when I drew that house for Z?
Yeah.
And I had a whole bunch of bricks on the wall of that house. Mm-hmm. And I drew each line of that brick, of that brick wall. I drew every brick, and then I only saved maybe a dozen of the bricks because I just wanted a little bit of flavor on the wall. Well, instead of having to draw every single brick on that wall, I could have just used a perspective ruler and only drew a dozen bricks instead of 200 bricks.
Right.
So I'm finding out ways to make it a little easier for myself.
You're still learning. Well, that probably would have come in handy for another picture you did for Mojo.
Well,
right?
Yeah, yes and no, but he wanted his picture drawn in the Oval Office, and that's a round room. It doesn't really work with perspective lines.
No? Okay.
I mean, because everything's curved.
I know nothing about art, so I'm guessing here.
Well, I mean, there's probably a way to do it, but I don't know. I mean, the perspective ruler that I've used, I only found it to be handy for flat things and square objects and squares and rectangles and stuff. The Oval Office has round walls.
Yeah.
So, in a round floor. And I guess it would have been handy for the hardwood floor that I drew. But, I mean, it still turned out okay, even though that was the job that I quit halfway through it.
Yeah, you got a little frustrated on that one.
Oh my God. Like, I'm my own worst enemy. I really am.
Yeah, you are.
Even, there's people that believe in me, and the person who believes in me the least is me.
Yeah, you gotta work on that.
Yeah, I was supposed to be doing this picture for a streamer. He wanted that, something from the Division. Was it Division 2?
2, yeah.
Where he wanted his, a character that I drew for him sitting in the Oval Office at the president's desk. Because I guess the game takes place in Washington, D.C. And I could not figure out what to do. Like, I was just stumped. And I tried several times to draw it seriously and to make it look authentic and good, because it's a serious game. And it was not working, and nothing was coming to me. And I said, look, Mojo, I quit. I can't do this. Here's your money back. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. Like, I know I worked on this for so long, but I quit. And he said no. He's like, no, you're not quitting, because I know you could do it. And he gave me the money back again, so I was able to do it. But I definitely needed convinced that I could do it.
Oh, it actually took your one friend, Dom,
Yeah.
to convince you.
Yeah, he had to remind me of what I'm good at.
Which is making fun of things.
Yeah. So I just had to put more humor in it. Mm-hmm. Because if I was trying to do it seriously, it was just not working. Sometimes I needed reminded, mm-hmm. you know. Nobody's perfect.
Now our other cat is in here.
Yeah. They both want so much attention.
Not for me. They don't like me. Let's see. What else can I ask?
We were asking about backgrounds and stuff.
Do you still have more?
No, not really. No? I mean, I know that what I always want to do when I'm doing backgrounds is fill it with so much trash. I mean, I say it's trash, but right. Like, I always have the intent when I do like full screen pictures, mm-hmm. because I've done it like this my whole life when I've drawn like large images. Like, I always want to fit as many jokes into the background as possible. It's just like so much clutter, so many jokes, so much stuff that maybe jokes that I get or a friend of mine will get, but not everybody will get. And I think I need to dial that back a little bit.
Well, you also have to take into consideration who your audience will actually be for that particular picture.
Right. So I can't make a bunch of inside jokes if no one else is there on the inside. I'm the only one that gets it. So that is something I do need to work on how to do backgrounds, because I'm not as good at it as I'd like to be. But it's a point of things I need to practice.
So, taking all that into consideration, what do you like most about drawing then? Like, you keep saying that you have to improve on things, but
like, what do I like about doing it, or what do I think that I'm best at?
Well, either or both, if you want to answer both of those. But just, I don't know, just in general, what do you like about drawing? Is there like a feeling you get that's stress relieving? Like, I roll my dice as a stress reliever. Mm-hmm. It could be annoying to some people, but for me, I'm just like, nope, I'm going to roll some dice. I'm going to stay off Twitter. I don't want to see the world end. I'm just going to roll some dice. Is drawing for you like that? Is it a stress reliever, or is it just like, is it mindless for you? Is it, does it just help you not think of anything? Or
I didn't think it was a stress reliever. I don't know. If I'm trying to think about it, it's not. I don't think that the act of drawing really does anything for me. Like, I like doing it, but I think what I like more is showing it to people. But if I don't do it, I have nothing to show. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, I gotta keep drawing, otherwise I can't show anything. So, like, I don't know. I like getting people's reaction when I draw pictures. And I was messaging with somebody the other day, and they said that they watched our last video, and they said that, because we talked about this before, mm-hmm. They said that maybe the reason that I don't find joy in drawing for myself is that when I do things for other people and I'm able to extract those ideas out of their head, it's almost like problem solving. And I like that. I guess it's almost like a dopamine hit of being able to solve a problem. Because if you got a problem, then I'll solve it.
Please don't. Please don't.
All right, stop.
Nope.
Collaborate and okay.
We'll get a copyright hit for that.
But seriously, like that's. I guess that's what it is. It is kind of a problem solving thing, and which is weird because that's almost like a left brain sort of activity, and they say that creative stuff is a right brain activity. So I mean, I do think that I am more of a left brain kind of thinker because I do think things through with logic and not really feelings. It's more just like the process of doing things and solving problems and logic. That's like my strength. But yet I still am a creative person, but it's like I'm using my creativity to solve problems.
Okay.
So I think they were onto something.
Yeah.
This is all therapy for me, and I'm just getting it for free.
Hey, even better. Having to pay for therapy is expensive.
I know. But
because we're Americans with health insurance, but we still have to pay out the ass for everything.
Yeah. God bless America.
That's a topic for another time.
That's a topic
never?
I don't want to cover.
Yeah, or never.
I don't want to cover that topic. What do I like about it? I mean, I guess that is what I like. I like the reveal to people. What do I think I'm good at? I think my strengths lie in facial expressions and conveying emotion, which I guess is why I'm getting good at doing emotes for people. Because that's exactly what you're doing. You're trying to convey an emotion through image, through just a picture. And it's like in my Dunstein character, his facial movements, I guess, like I never animated it, but I look at it in terms of animation. Like his facial movements are very limited because it's almost like a puppet where he just kind of opens his mouth and closes it, and that's really all he can do. But through the use of his eyes, I can convey a lot more emotion. Like if I make like his cheekbone kind of rise up in one of the eyes and almost make one eye squint a little bit, it kind of either can make it look like he's in pain or yelling or angry and stuff like that. So it's most of the emotion is in the eyes. Like no kidding, everybody's heard that before, but that's what I found.
There's truth to it.
There is, yeah. So I mean, people wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, I guess.
Right.
So, and I think I did get pretty good at that. And I am pretty proud of my facial expressions and stuff.
Well, one of my favorite emotes that you drew for Grom was the angry Grumbodian. Like the red one with the teeth coming out.
The rage one.
Yeah, the rage one. I really like that one. You can't use it all the time because it's not pertinent to certain scenarios, but I really like that one.
I mean, rage is an emotion that is easy for me to draw. I don't know what that says about me. I think that's the easiest emotion to convey.
You're a really happy-go-lucky guy.
Well, I also think that it's an emotion that's a lot more common to people than happiness. So maybe that's another thing.
Maybe.
That's just humans.
Possibly,
humans are more angry than happy. But I mean, that's I guess what I think I do best.
And I don't remember if we talked about it before. Well, I think we talked about it in bits and pieces, like what you want to improve on. Like you want to improve on backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think you said you wanted to improve on your shading technique, or was that something else? Starting to get confused about what we talked about.
I mean, I like the way I do shading, but I'm always up to change stuff just to see how it looks. I've tried several different ways of coloring my dunce character. Like I actually did one time where I just painted it. Like I drew it like the standard way with the thick black lines, and then I got like a paintbrush tool and I painted it and mixed all the colors with like a paintbrush. And then I got rid of the black lines and it was just looked like a weird painting of my cartoon character. And I thought for a while, like, maybe I'll just keep doing it this way. And then that was the only time I did it. But like, I always try to do new things. Like, I definitely look at a lot of other artists and I see what other people do and I try to mimic that. And I don't know, maybe it's just copying or whatever, but that's how you learn how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to invent a new technique, you know?
Right.
I'm not going to create a new way to draw that nobody's done before. I know that. But I mean, that's just what art is. Art of any kind. It's all mimicking other things. And I said the other day, like, if you're writing a song, like, are you going to be disappointed because you're not writing a song using a brand new chord that was never created before?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, almost every song, they all use the same notes, they're just put in different order.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to get disappointed or angry with myself that much because I've copied somebody's technique. And just like I would hope that artists wouldn't be disappointed with me because I copied their technique. I don't know, if somebody copied the way I drew stuff, I don't know, I think I'd be kind of flattered. Personally.
Yeah.
Because I never had a fan.
I'm a fan. I just can't draw. That's all.
Well, I can't marry all my fans.
Yeah, I think that's illegal in this state. So we've talked about what you like and what you would like to improve on. I don't think I asked you what you hate. Like, is there something that you hate about your drawing that you're like, I definitely need to fix this? Your posture, maybe.
Oh, well, yeah. That is one thing I definitely need to fix.
Because I walk by like, going into the bathroom and I just see you hunched over, you know, I'm like, wow, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, that is something that I need to work on. I even have like a swing arm on my monitor too, so it's not flat on the table. So you're
still hunch over.
I still hunch over. I do. That's left over from when I learned how to draw. Because
you started old school with like pens and papers and
tangible objects. Yeah. My goodness.
I bet you want to go back to that, right?
No. I really don't. There's no paint bucket tool where I can dump colors on shit. I mean, there is, but it just ends up being a mess.
Yeah, you mess up a drawing, you have to redraw the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to erase lines digitally than it is in real life. Like, I did a lot of my work. I guess the one thing I do miss about physical media and pen and paper stuff is the portability of it. Mm. And how easy it is to, well, that's not even true, really. Because I can have all these pictures on my phone. And I can just show people pictures on my phone. Scratch that. I guess that's not true. So.
Or were you just talking about like the materials where you can just go somewhere, sit down, and start drawing with a piece of paper and a pencil?
Well, yeah, I guess there's that. Because I used to bring a sketchbook with me everywhere I went. Mm-hmm. I used to hang out at this restaurant, this local restaurant in our neighborhood every day when I was in high school. My friends and I would go there every day. I think at one point we were there 300 days in a row.
Wow.
I hardly bought anything, and I'm sure it annoyed the servers to no end, but I always tipped. Even if all I did was drink water, I always left a tip. But I'd be there for hours, and I would just draw. A lot of times I would draw the people that walked past. It was kind of practice. But that's how I learned that I do my best work when I'm making fun of people. So it's almost best that I didn't show the people what I was drawing.
Yeah. Well, they have portable tablets, drawing tablets now.
Yeah, but
you're looking into getting one.
I know, but carrying around a sketchbook is a lot different than carrying around a $1,200 iPad into a bar. Like, I don't know if I really feel comfortable doing that. If I have just like a paper sketch pad and somebody spills beer on it, no big deal. I mean, yeah, I'm mad, but I just lost a sketchbook that can dry. If somebody spills a beer on my iPad, like, we're having a fight. So, I mean, I am looking into that, just mainly to get me out of this room.
Yeah.
So I can draw somewhere else in the house.
On the couch and be comfortable.
Yeah, where my posture would be worse.
Yes, very much so. Could always lay on the floor like you used to.
Yeah, I used to lay on my stomach with like a pillow under me, and that is very bad on your elbows.
Yeah. So would that be beneficial then at all?
Maybe not. Maybe I should save my money and just go to a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Instead of buying an iPad.
Yeah, but like, if you were to get a portable one, that could be something for like when, if we go on vacation or something, that you can just whip out the Sketch-a-ma-doodle.
Yeah. I mean, it is still something I'm looking at doing, but I'm not in a hurry. My system I have now still works. I don't know what else I would really change or what I don't like. I wish I was better at, like, I don't know. And this is, it sucks because, like, what I'm going to say is, like, I wish I was good at capturing the image in my head the first time, instead of having to draw it 3 or 4 times before it looks like I want it. Like, no kidding. I wish I was perfect the first time.
Yeah.
So I guess that's not even really a fair statement, because who can get everything right the first time? So that's not a reasonable expectation.
I mean, you can take your own criticism, but how do you take other people's criticism?
I don't know. I keep this is going to sound very egotistical.
Really?
Nobody's said anything bad about anything I've done. At least not recently. And in the past, I haven't taken criticism well. I know in college, I took a creative writing class and wrote something that I probably shouldn't have even been proud of. So I don't think I really was. I look at it now and it was garbage. But the class was full of all these theater kids. And they all knew each other. And the only person I knew was Chris. And he was already like a writer. And I just wasn't. I kind of took it because I needed an elective. And I figured creative writing, I'm a creative person. Why not write too? And I wrote this dumb story. It was stupid and like unnecessarily violent. And that was the criticism I got. And like my reaction was like, I don't care what you think. And then like, I was like super defensive. Yeah. Very immature. But I don't know. I was like 19 years old.
I was a little like that too.
I don't care what you think of me. I'm going to go to the newspaper office and work on the comic. Because I was published in the newspaper at the school.
Yeah.
So that was me bragging. I'm just going to go do that. I'll draw. You guys can write your stupid stories. I don't need this. I'm out of here. So I haven't accepted criticism well. That's not to say that I won't. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, you've grown as a person.
I mean, when people tell you they don't like something you did, nobody's going to like hearing that, you know? Everybody gets defensive about things that they've made, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I
guess it's all in how you explain why you don't like something. Because if someone just says, "Oh, I don't like this," okay, why? I just don't like it. That's
it's ugly. Oh, okay. Well, did you think that maybe I wanted it to be? It's ugly. Well, I mean, it's a picture of you. What do you expect?
Burn.
I did get similar reactions to that, like that, whenever I would take my sketchbook to bars. Like, Chris liked to do karaoke, and I would just bring my sketchbook and draw. And I had somebody go, "Oh, you like to draw? You should draw me." You don't want me to do that. "Oh, come on, just draw me." I'm like, "Really? Are you sure? Because I don't think you want me to draw you."
Right.
"Yeah, come on, you could draw me." So I did, and it was not a flattering picture. And they're like, "It doesn't even look like me." I'm like, "Well, you need to see it from my point of view."
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I can take that kind of criticism.
Yeah, at that point, if somebody's egging you on like that, of course you're going to draw something that's
right.
Not so.
I'm not going to draw you a flattering picture. You want me to draw you as a supermodel? I don't think so. But I mean, I guess I don't know, maybe because I don't draw like shit anymore, so people don't say bad things. Or, I guess more accurately, I don't release the pictures of my bad drawings to people. I only show my good stuff. I don't say, "Hey, look at this drawing that I did badly." Like, no. Here's the best thing I did today. I'll show this.
Do you sometimes wish then that people would give you criticism? Because, I mean, you said that you would like to improve upon things, and you have your own ideas of the stuff you need to improve upon. So, do you think that would maybe help you if somebody finally was just like, "Well, yeah, you know what? I don't really like it, and here's why."
Yeah, sure. I don't see how that's. I mean, I've grown up a lot since I told people I don't care what you think of me. But I mean, in the end, what people's opinion of me is doesn't really matter. But if I'm asking for somebody's opinion on something and they tell me, "I like this, but you should work on this, and this color choices, that's not great. Like, maybe you need to fix this." And I guess constructive criticism is better than just criticism. Mm-hmm. Like, constructive criticism is usually like, "Hey, I don't really get that choice you made. It doesn't make sense to me. Did you think of trying to do it this way?"
Yeah.
That's the kind of criticism everybody would love to have. I mean, honestly, that's not the kind of criticism you get from people, but I don't know. Are you trying to get people to say mean things to me? Is that
no?
Is that what you're trying to do?
No, but I didn't even think about it until you just said it, that nobody's told you that they hated your stuff.
It's because it's all good.
It is good. All right, ego. It is good. But I was just curious. I don't know. I was just curious.
I missed that shadow back there. I messed that up.
Oh, it's all shadow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's because the gap between the spear and the body was too small. Whenever I increased it by 12 pixels, it's 24 pixels wide, I think, and it just filled it all in black. But It's actually okay. It'll work on a t-shirt. It'll be fine. I still need to fix some of the colors, but
I actually saw what you were talking about. How about that?
the criticism thing. I think I probably could benefit from hearing stuff, but I don't know. Maybe I need to show my stuff to other artists, but I don't know any. You know? I guess that's another thing. I don't know anybody else that, like, in my personal life that draws.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I follow people on Twitter, but what are you gonna do? Like, hey, artist that I follow and like, look at my stuff and rate me. I need your validation.
Yeah, that's always a little cringy.
Right. So I don't know where I would go to even get constructive criticism because I don't know anybody. Is that a good answer? Because I mean that doesn't seem right.
No, it's a fair point. If you don't know anybody else who draws regularly and knows different styles, then I guess it would be hard to really find somebody.
But yeah, I don't want to discredit people that don't draw, saying that their opinions won't matter because you don't draw, so I don't care what you think.
Yeah, no,
that's not true.
Yeah, that's not what I was talking about. I just mean it as sometimes when you do talk to somebody else that draws, getting their perspective on things because they know certain techniques or certain styles, could possibly be beneficial. But yeah, then there's the other aspect where if somebody doesn't know how to draw, but they see something in your artwork that's like, well, how about this? You know?
Yeah. In a way, that does kind of play into a fear that I have, that I don't know how much I want to get into, but of collaborating with other artists.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bad experience, and maybe we could just leave it at that for now.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So I don't know. I mean, that's a fear of mine. I definitely have a fear of, I think it was called fraud complex, where people point at you and say, you don't know anything.
Mm.
So, I mean, I have that. I know that. And, I mean, maybe I just do need to collaborate with an artist in order to shake that demon, you know?
Maybe.
Not yet. I'm not ready for that yet.
You're just having fun right now.
Right. I'm just enjoying the ride right now. This is fun.
Have you ever gotten criticism from your parents?
Criticism?
Yeah.
I don't. Not really. I mean, well, I mean, my mom doesn't even know anything about me, so that's not really relevant, I guess.
Okay.
But my dad never really was big into supporting a choice to draw for a living, because there's no money in that. It's not a path to success.
There's not a whole lot of stability there.
Yeah. And like being an adult looking back on that, I don't disagree with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, is that something you want for your kid to, like, oh, I'm going to go draw pictures for a living and maybe survive.
Right.
You know, so I mean, I can see how that's not ideal that you'd want for your son.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been nice to have a little support once in a while.
And you've talked to him about it recently, or
A little bit, not too much. I mean, he's in support of what I do artistically now. it would have been nice when I was a kid.
Right.
It just wasn't there. Because that's not a career with a future. And it's not. It is for some, but it's a very small percentage of people that can actually make a career out of drawing. That's not something that's common or easy. Like, you really gotta hustle. And I don't have it in me to do that hustle now, but I might have. You know, I might have had it if I kept at it, or, you know, maybe had a little bit of encouragement in that way. I just didn't really have that. So, I mean, I don't remember anybody in my family ever really even really looking at my drawings, which might have been good, because if my family looked at the things I drew in high school, they probably would have called like the FBI or something, or maybe sent me to counseling or something. But I was fine. I just had a weird way of looking at stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't even know if that. You can't. It's only speculation at this point, looking back and saying, "Oh, it would have been better if I had support," because I don't know. It's all just what if.
Right.
It's a weird, like, topic. It's hard to really talk about. I don't really know. I'd have to talk to my dad and see what he actually thinks of that.
Yeah, you have to get him on and
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Like, hey, Dad, I drew a picture. Come talk to me. Watch me draw it.
Well, I think he does like watching your stuff, because, like, I mean, you've edited videos. Like when you and Chris used to play games, you actually used to record it, and then you would edit it and add in little sound effects, or like little pop up word thought bubbles, and he.
And that's an art too, and that's something he did for a living. Like, he did video editing, so I'm pretty sure he was proud of that, because I was able to do the same things that he did, but I was able to do it a lot faster. I know he was a little jealous of that. He's like, man, that would have taken me days, and you did that in like 5 minutes.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's proud of that, though. Not that he took forever, but that you can pick things up so quickly is what I mean.
Well, we've been going on for about an hour now.
Have we?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a long time. Maybe we should wrap this up.
Yeah, we could pick it up for the next penguin drawing, because there's still a few other things. You know, we could branch off from like your dad and like your family and things like that if you want. Yeah. If you want. We
might get into that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, make sure you check out our sponsor, MeUndies, or whatever other sponsor, Casper Mattresses, Stamps.com.
No, we're not sponsored.
Please. Could we be sponsored, please?
We have to have a following first. This is only our second video.
Right. And we're already not sponsored.
Yeah.
All right, guys. If you made it this far, thank you. I didn't expect that. Maybe you'll listen to the next one.
Hope so.
Goodbye.
Bye.